Italy has a population of 60 million people, and of those, about 17 million can speak English, most being in northern Italy, which means that to do business more efficiently in Italy, it is important to have some knowledge in Italian, especially to develop relationships. To be able to successfully do business in Italy, especially in the south, which is heavily family orientated, it is very important to build a relationship with a company you want to work with. It is very important to respect the Italian culture and to learn at least the basics of it, as without it, you will not be able to build rapport with people. Negotiations in Italy tend to be very slow due to the need to build trust and a relationship, and therefore it is very important to be patient and not to rush things, as this will upset your partners. Appearance is another important part to doing business in Italy. Although Italy can be very warm, it is important to wear formal clothes, like a suit, when meeting in person. Being neat and tidy does not only apply to how you dress, but also to your presentation. Your presentation should be well organized and to the point. Sticking to a PowerPoint and a business card is a good idea. Although Italy may seem like a complicated and strict country due to having to follow many social rules, the country itself is quite aligned with New Zealand when it comes to managerial styles and how things are done.
Both Italy and New Zealand have similar managerial styles, but differences also. The power distance dimension finds Italians tend to prefer equality and a decentralization of power and decision making, meaning there's less hierarchy and the majority of employees in the company have equal power and rights. Italy finds its work culture for individualism quite high, meaning people are me-centered, especially in the big cities of the north, while individualism in the south is lower with more family-oriented aspects involved. Italy also has a high uncertainty avoidance, where formality is a must, but people will find themselves confused with the important ones and the ones that are not needed. In combination of the high uncertainty avoidance is a high masculinity dimension. This combination means life is very stressful and difficult. Managers need to take into consideration that their employees need to relax and reset in their everyday lives through long lunch breaks or lots of coffee breaks. New Zealand management styles will need to understand how Italians go about their everyday life and what they value in the business world when cross-cultural management occurs.
When trading in Italy, there can be a challenge to the communication barrier with the Italian and English language, with only 17 out of 17 million of the population being able to speak English. It is important to acknowledge other areas within the Italian culture which can be used to build relationships, such as non-verbal communication. Italians are very relationship orientated, especially with friends and family. Therefore, understanding Italians needing to be able to have a developed relationship through trust and honesty to be able to do business. Understanding their business etiquette through using eye contact and being able to connect through appreciating their culture and pleasantries, such as Italian food, wine, and art, can show the respect you have towards them. By being able to connect through warm body language and understanding that Italians are full of emotions, expressing themselves with hand gestures and touch will help you understand their communication style. Managers need to educate their employers on non-verbal communication strategies to help the language barriers start to break down through gestures and cultural respect. This will help both parties feel comfortable.
Negotiations in Italy are highly dependent on the relationships built in bargaining. Italy employs distributive and contingency bargaining, and while the primary negotiations are competitive, Italians value a beneficial long-term relationship from both sides. Italian negotiators are able to apply many types of pressures and deceptive techniques. However, it is rare for them to actually use the adversarial technique. This is when relationships should be leveraged if they're strong enough to gain a better stance. It is more useful in bargaining, which is more prevalent in the South, where price moves by 40% from initial to final offering. The overall pace of these talks is very slow due to the careful evaluation of the risks by the hierarchical decision-making processes of Italian companies. You would talk to one person in the company who has limited authority in decision-making, who reports to a senior advisor, which makes the process very slow. Others are consulted in a committee-style meeting, so building a strong relationship with a senior is advantageous, since personal feelings and experiences are weighted more strongly than objective facts. However, it should be noted that risky decisions will not be supported because of Italy's reluctance to risk and uncertainty.
By way of conclusion, strong relationships based on trust and honesty are prime in building rapport with the Italians. Italian culture is deep in the arts, family culture, music, and food. So like New Zealand, cultural appreciation is essential to building business relationships. Language difference may pose disadvantage as only 20% of the population speaks English. Thus, local partner will be a great advantage, especially in communication. The business culture is one to take into priority as both countries have great differences in uncertainty avoidance and power distance. Furthermore, negotiations are lengthy as it is when business partners develop reciprocal trust with each other. Thus, to make a successful entry to Italy, developing a strong relationship and acting locally are highly encouraged.